So first,
absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar. Yes.
And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast Summer House Edition, Season 9, Episode 8. Literally a show about nothing. This episode felt like Vanderpump Rules to me because we didn't actually go to Summer House.
I loved it, though. I was like, damn, lots of time in the city.
It covered maybe a day. They didn't even give us timestamps. I don't even know what course of action this is over.
I forget when Carl's party was because we saw that like.
I'm sure it was this week, but was it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I have no idea.
Well, whenever they got to the city, they went through Monday, Wednesday. So I bet this party, like Carl's party, was on the Thursday.
They just gave you the Monday.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
I guess in my mind, every time they show me
went back.
Okay, well, let's be honest. Those
times.
are fake. The days that they give us,
doesn't
anyways.
Matter. Give me I know. Timeline.
So in my mind, every time there's a new scene, it's a new day to me.
Do you know how many times I had to go back and be like, Did I miss the day? Nope. We just don't have a day.
I wonder if they're punishing us because
I called them out.
Mm-hmm, they went back and they re-edited.
You don't have to punish me. You could just hire me. I'll do this on your pay.
I will berate you behind closed doors so other people don't do it publicly.
Here's the thing. I don't understand why more shows or movies, for that matter, don't give the actual fans the show or movie first, and then we can tell you what your issue is, and then you can then edit it accordingly.
Yeah, like a focus group of sorts.
Yeah, but like
to call out the issues because I hate continuity errors and I spot them so easily.
But like, don't go to the movie critics because they're looking at shit I would never look at. Like, but it has to be specific. Like, don't come to me for Marvel movies. I don't watch those. I wouldn't know what I'm looking at, right? But come to me for Bravo. I will tell you what exactly your issue is with editing and what you should take into consideration for the fan base.
That's the thing, because it can just be notes, and you can either take them or not.
Yeah.
And but 100%. I recommend you take them.
100%. One time, this is a side story. One time, I got invited to go watch I told you, like a movie before it aired. It was that Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield movie that came out about cancer.
I didn't watch it, but I know what you're talking about because that one was at the Crazy Press tour, right?
Yes. Well, it's not the Don't Worry, Darling, not Harry Styles.
Oh, you're right.
This was just cute press because Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh are so cute. But basically, I went with my friend who's a movie fanatic, and at the end, we had to fill out this whole form about things that we would change in the movie. And I literally was like, I don't know. So I just wrote down, like, I didn't understand what the point of her ice skating was. I'm still confused on the ice skating.
You're not giving yourself a good reason to be hired by Bravo. You got to be willing to give the edits.
I did. I was like, I think you should take out the ice skating because I didn't understand it. It had really nothing to do with the movie. Other than that, I think the timing was just choppy. But like, obviously, you'll fix that in post because this was an unedited kind of version. Oh and at the end, my friend was like, oh my God, but the ice skating was like, it was a metaphor. And I was like, but I didn't get that. As someone who doesn't watch that many movies, if I don't get it, the normies
then it's pointless.
Aren't going to get it. And you know what? They kept in the ice skating and it was so dumb. They didn't listen to me. I watched the edited version.
Maybe more people did get the metaphor.
Didn't matter. Anyway, yeah, maybe. Anyway, let me edit your shit, Bravo. I'll tell you.
Alicia can handle the really concrete things like time.
Yeah, or like anything in this hemisphere. I'm telling you how to edit. Give me a better Emerald edit. I got to see more. Give me less of Lexi. I don't give a shit. I'll tell you all of it. Anyway, okay, before we get into the actual like nitty-gritty of like this episode about nothing, if you are interested in seeing more of us, we have an Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, a Patreon. All the links are in our description. Also, I tell you every week, I'm like, please rate, review, subscribe. And then I'm like, oh, we don't get any reviews. Well, Apple.
Okay, it's not our fault.
Apple has been hiding our reviews.
They buried them hard.
They buried them, which is fucking rude.
But
Steve
you know what?
Jobs.
We figured it out.
we're on to you. So we do have some reviews. And like always, I'm going to read them because we don't give a shit. We'll take constructive criticism or any type of criticism. What do I care? Anyway, the first one is from Yo Espo. Titled, Did We Just Become Best Friends? It's 5 stars, obviously. And it said, started listening during Scandival, as I did with a handful of other podcasts. And this is the only one I continue to listen long afterwards because they're the only hosts who I'd want to hang out with, chatting about nonsense regardless of the subject. Oh, God. You hit the nail on that head.
For the first 5 minutes of this podcast.
Though I'm happy this nonsense is about Bravo. Also, my kids can't tell any of these Bravo people apart, so they're useless. Oh, fuck your kids.
I mean, Alicia can barely too, so like really in the same boat.
All blonde white women look the same. Sorry. Anyway, Yo Espo says, great listen if you want to hear an educated, honest, and entertaining take. Also, a great listen when you need a break from murder podcasts while still wanting helpful tips on avoiding toxic men. Thanks,
Amen.
ladies. Keep up the great work. Oh, my God. If there was a better way to describe me, giving you helpful tips on how to avoid toxic men. Amazing. Okay, next one is Along Came Holly, 5 stars, titled My Podcast Besties. And Holly says, I absolutely adore these ladies. I've listened the past few months while I'm at work. I work third shift, and these ladies make me feel like I'm listening to my best friends. Even when our opinions may differ, they offer a new perspective that I never thought of before. So glad I stumbled upon this podcast, and I'll be binging all their shows. Currently finishing up the Vanderpump series. Ooh, I cannot wait to go to their other shows. Never want the podcast to end. I'm obsessed. If I could throw a million stars, I would, but for now, 5 stars will have to do. Oh my God. Well, you're in luck because our shows never fucking end. So we'll be doing this till we're dead.
True.
How exciting. Okay, next one is from Amy47, 5 stars, titled Thank You. Amy says, thank you for merging all of your shows into one podcast. You know what, Amy? You're fucking welcome on that one. Now I know what you ladies are recording once the season I am listening to is over. I subscribed to your originally for the Summer House content several seasons ago, but now I'm enjoying your VPR content because it is automatically popping up on my feed and I love it. Season 5 VPR was so good. I'm actually rewatching and reliving memories. Ladies, you are hilarious, so entertaining. I can't wait for you to cover the last season of Martha's Vineyard. Oh my God, we did that. But of course, Apple hit the... These are delayed. Anyway.
We're late to the game.
The next one, CM Sioni, 5 stars. Phenomenal. The best VPR recap podcast made better by banter, humor, and wit of the host. I'm going back and listening to older episodes as I do my VPR rewatch. I'm also marathon training, and this is literally all I listen to while I run. You know what?
We did read this one, but worthy of another read.
When I reflect on the Chicago Marathon in years to come.
Oh, wait, no. One? That was from the fall. But somebody else listened to us when they were running.
This isn't our first marathoner.
This is now the second marathon we're running. Because we are in the ears of somebody running a marathon.
Literally. Okay, but y'all rock. When I reflect on the Chicago Marathon in years to come, I already know I'm going to think of all the hours and miles spent with the 2 funny ladies in my ears.
I'm so sad.
Chicago
I wish I would have known
too.
that. I was gonna say I was cheering on friends at the Chicago Marathon. I wish I would have known. I hope you saw my wonderful signs and we crossed paths at some point.
My Chicago accent was with you the whole way. Yeah. Okay, and last one is from Max RF, and it's titled "Want to Love," but it's 4 stars. I already know Max hates us. Anyway. It just feels like these folks aren't aware or don't want to engage with the fact that this is a television show and all these people are fighting for paychecks, careers, and lifestyles. I wish they went a layer deeper and actually discussed the show as it exists in a real world and not take everything they see at face value. Doesn't make it a bad show at all. I'm just more interested in the actual mechanications and not just the edits, narrative angles, and the show it feeds us. Well, Max, here's a fun look. Meredith and I don't live or work in reality TV, so we don't know a lot of the
I feel like we talk about a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, like what is probably going on.
Well, we don't know a lot about the machinations.
Stop.
That's literally what it says. So Max, here's the thing. We do talk about how it is like a little dramatic and like sometimes we're like, this was badly edited.
Somebody did this for the show. Like this is what you, like the confrontations, we know you got to do that for the show.
They save them for the camera. We know. But here's the other thing. Why would I want to look at this in real life? Real life sucks. I'm pretending this is all really happening, you know?
But I'm also kind of tired of the argument of, wow, this is all so scripted. This is all so fake. Because I think things are produced for sure. I think things happen in a way that don't happen in real life, but that is somebody's real reaction and emotion. Yes. And if not, they're being super fake, which is also them being them then. You know, like why are we saying this is like a scripted TV show and acting like we're not commenting on scripted TV shows like they're real?
Yeah. We can respect the art of like reality TV and how it's made. Yeah. And we understand that, but like we don't know all the ins and outs, and we talk about as much as we do know, and we skepticize or whatever. We're skeptical about a lot of things that we mention.
Yeah. But hell yeah, I'm going to judge you on what you do on reality TV. That's your goddamn choice. And if you don't want my reaction, don't do it on TV.
Yeah, hell yeah. Also, we got a lot of comments like this. I made a TikTok, Instagram that was like, people who watch reality TV are more emotionally intelligent than people who don't. And a lot of people were like, oh, you're just reacting to fake scenarios and that makes you more intelligent. I was like, well, in my real life, how many times am I going to watch like 5 Black women go through like life in a white area and have to navigate that situation? Probably not many times, you know, and they all see it in different ways.
Well, because also like, the minute I come into the room, it's no longer like 5 Black women.
Yeah. So my point, and they all have different opinions and they all take the situation differently. So like I get to see all those different situations through their eyes. So like, yeah, in some ways, sure, it is produced, but like, you know what? You live in your bubble and stay emotionally unintelligent. Do it.
Amen.
Bye.
Amen.
Okay.
But thanks for the reviews.
Thanks so much. Thanks for the 4 stars anyway, Max. Anyway, also some housekeeping. We have some thoughts from last week's episode from Tonette.
Let's hear them.
Tonette says, if Wes doesn't want Sierra reporting a false narrative about their relationship ending, then maybe he should be honest. No one just stops wanting to date someone. Something had to have happened, whether that be big or small. Something caused an ick. Maybe the reason is really, really harsh, so harsh that he's keeping it close to his chest. There's just too much chemistry there for it to halt suddenly without a reason. Tonette, the reason is he wanted to fuck half of New York.
But also, if you want to be friends with her, you gotta stop talking about it.
Oh my God, you can't convince me this man's not obsessed with Sierra still, because he doesn't stop talking about
I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh my God, I have so many thoughts. Anyway, let's get into the episode now. Finally, 20 minutes later. So, previously on Summer House, we had the pirate party for the second episode in a row. Jesse and Sierra are flirting, but Jesse is still obsessed with Lexi. Everyone knows Sierra and Jesse have sexual tension. Carl met this girl named Lil. Craig and Paige's relationship is showing some cracks. Emerald had a threesome, and Jesse joined to get his toe sucked. Check, check, check. So now it's Sunday. I forget exactly which day because we didn't get a timestamp at the beginning of the episode.
Know it's Sunday.
Yeah, but which July, June day?
Oh, it's the end. I think it's like the 28th.
Oh, I did guess the 28th, and then I never confirmed.
Fact checked it,
but it's that Sunday.
Whatever that Sunday is. Everybody look at your calendars right now and educate yourself.
And correct me in the comments. Anyway, everyone is at the pool. Emerald joins and everyone's like, hey, how was your threesome? He clearly doesn't want to talk about it. And also,
not everyone. Jesse's the one who keeps bringing it up.
Jesse is the ringleader. He's like, Emerald.
Which is crazy. If you were a part of it and didn't want to talk about it, you wouldn't bring it up at all.
Yeah, well, Emerald's annoyed. Jesse's acting like he doesn't know how the threesome went because Jesse was like in the room and he's like, we all know that someone's toe went in someone's mouth, but Jesse hasn't really told the house that.
I forgot about that. Sometimes we as the viewers see all the information all at the same time, and we got those details in the interview chair. And so Emerald being like, oh yeah, Jesse isn't saying his part at all, but he keeps bringing it up. I was like,
throwing at me.
Good point.
So Paige and Craig are in their room packing to leave. It's a little awkward. Paige also mentions to Craig how she has to work tonight, which we all know Craig hates when his women work. I'm just kidding, but kind of. Paige feels like Craig is attacking her in a really southern way. Like he's saying nice words, but she feels icky about herself inside and she doesn't know why. And also, again, Craig is just adding extra stress. And Paige can't even like talk about work with him because he doesn't want to talk about it unless it pertains to their relationship.
I think this perfectly describes her frustrations in a way that the last 2 episodes didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just saying like, oh wow, like is he a hater now? Because that gets the like Craig crowd riled up being like, he's not a hater. It's this. It's that Paige can't talk about her work at all. He doesn't engage with it. He probably doesn't ask questions. And then he's not supportive in her big life moments. That's what we mean by Craig's a hater now.
Yeah,
these exact words.
So back at the pool, Carl invites everyone to his friends and family opening for Soft Bar, which he also invited Lindsay. So the house is like, that's so great. Ooh. And then he put 100K into, I didn't know, the bar or the party.
I think just the business in general.
Okay.
I doubt that this was
Can I ask a dumb question for someone who doesn't own their own business?
You're talking to another. Hey, whoa. We own our own business with this podcast.
Okay, we didn't put 100K into this. So is 100K a lot? This is also low budget.
I don't think for a restaurant, no, especially a restaurant in New York, like I don't think that that's crazy because this isn't just going to this version that we're seeing right now. Like, think about the Toms. Like, they had to build out a whole restaurant.
That's what I was thinking. We're like, I think the Toms each put in like 25 or 50K each, right?
Yeah.
So, like, they only owned 1% of Tom Tom when they did that with Lisa.
Oh, when it came to Tom Tom, I think that they put in less than that.
I think it was like 25, no? 25
was it?
Each?
And they got like 5% total between the two of them.
So I feel like 100K is not a lot to invest. I mean, I know we're just starting out, so like we'll invest more.
But there's other investors. I think Carl has more ownership in his bar than like the Toms did.
Okay. I agree.
In any of their bars. Because I'm thinking Schwartz and Sandy's, them creating that.
I just didn't. He said, like, I put 100K into this. And don't get me wrong, 100K is like a lot of money for me. But I was like, is that a lot of money in the restaurant industry?
The realm, like, I don't know.
Should he be prepared to put in more? Because he made 100K seem like, oh my God, this is like my life.
I wasn't shocked in the general sense of a restaurant, but I was like, oh wow, Carl put 100K on his side. Like he's committed. Like that to me said a big commitment from him to this business. Because this obviously happened over the summer, but in present day, we know he did like a crowdfunding thing. So in my mind, I didn't think he really put any money into this.
I think he did. He underestimated how much this was going to cost. Especially like he's opening it up in Greenpoint, which Greenpoint is truly so up and coming and so fun. But for that reason, it's getting so expensive. Like people love Brooklyn, and Greenpoint's one of those places where you have a lot of room. So like people want to open up restaurants and breweries around there. So it is really, it's an expensive place. So we should have opened it up in Jersey or something. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Anyway, the theme's garden party. So it's time to go. Craig switches hats with Jesse, and Jesse makes this joke, and he says, Craig's the kind of guy that'll give you the hat right off his head. And then Paige makes a joke and says, that's why he's my number one priority. And then Jesse kind of looks at them both and is like, are you guys beefing?
Jesse always calls out if people are beefing. I'm always like, oh, Lordy.
He should have. He got put in the middle of it. And then Paige says, every time we're beefing, I make a joke. And then she mocks Craig and says, is everything a joke to you, Paige? And Craig said, I never said that. Which you know he did. You're not...
I bet not that string of words so then he can say he never actually said it.
I said you make a joke out of everything, Paige. So totally different.
Oh my God, the more you see of these two, and it's easier to like have blinders off because if they were still together, I don't think this would be taken as crazily, but I'm always like, see, you guys just are not aligned.
I stand by. I said this publicly, roll the tapes. I have always said, fine if Paige wants to date him, but there's no way he doesn't give her icks. Like, there's no way. This man is so not like it with Paige. Like you said, they're not aligned. And watching the Southern Charm reunion there's no way I could date this man. This man is weird and gross and terrible. And I don't see why Paige would want to tie herself to this branding. Terrible branding.
I think it's different when you're like falling in love versus like being with this person. Yeah. This isn't like fun and exciting anymore. You know exactly who he is. And I think they were very different, like we said. And Madison said on Watch What Happens Live, like, Andy asked her, like, oh, was Craig blind or blinded? And she said both. And I agree. I don't think Craig ever saw Paige for who she actually was.
He saw Paige for who she could be for him.
Yeah, and the versions he liked. Version he wanted. And like, this is exactly where I'm like, this is Paige. That is so Paige. And he hates that.
You know what I always say about Lindsay? Believe someone when they show you who they are.
So true.
Paige showed you
and
who
on
she
both
was.
sides, because like Craig also showed who he was and said what he wanted.
True.
And like, she didn't want any of that. I mean, I think she thought she wanted that, and that's how the relationship started. Yeah. And she changed her mind. But I normalize breaking up.
I truly stand by this. If you are going to date someone who's on reality TV, I don't care if they've been on it for 5 minutes or 5 years. You watch every episode of it so you know, because people can change, but they don't change that much. If we've learned anything from reality TV, people don't change that much. They can grow, but they don't change. So you got to know who you're getting in bed with. And we have seen Craig for 9 goddamn years, and he has yet to surprise me.
He's definitely grown up.
He's grown, but he hasn't changed.
But yeah, there is a leopard really doesn't change its spots. I think you'd have to have major changes or like shifts to be able to like change. Like a Carl has changed a lot because a life-altering
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, then enough about Craig. Never be on my screen again. Anyway, we're going to NYC, baby. Best city ever. It's Monday. And then I think the rest of these things happen on Monday. We never got a timestamp.
Everything happens on Monday. It's just a perpetual Monday.
The longest Groundhog Day in the world. So West is working. I love seeing people at work.
I thought of you the whole time. I was like, this is so fun.
He's doing his West A. Everett complex. Terrible show.
No. Don't worry. He wasn't working on that.
You're right.
He was about something about
US
the 50 geography. States.
Which I'm so good at U.S. geography.
Well, that's because we're Midwesterners. Do you remember when
my God, when
we did the state thing at work and we made Mara try to write all the states, but she's from Florida and she didn't know where they were.
I stand by. If you are from the Midwest, you know U.S. geography perfectly. I could put all 50 states. I could put the capitals. I could probably, even if you give me any city in any state, I could get close, I think, to where it's like located, a major city.
You and I knew like all the capitals.
Yeah, we could do that. If you live on either coast, you have no idea what the middle of the U.S. is. You don't know the difference between Kansas and Nebraska. You have no idea. Which there's not a big difference except the state line. Okay, let me tell you. Anyway, so Carl is working at his soft bar buying ice. Who knew?
I mean, I did know just only because
you work
the Toms, like watching the Toms do their bars.
It's like because you work in beverages. No, because we've seen it on Vanderpump Rules.
I do also work in the food service space. I do kind of forget that sometimes.
And then we meet Lexi at a rooftop. She tells us that she wanted to be home in Canada this past weekend because her grandma is not doing too well. And she only really told Jesse about that because that's her person.
I wonder if he was so supportive because he's obviously had cancer. So then you already know, and he's been vulnerable about that with her. It's a very easy conversation then to have with him and open up to him about that.
And then Jesse shows up with flowers, and then they talk about how they miss each other. And then they're outside, and it starts to like drizzle a little. And Lexi's like, "My great grandpa got struck by lightning twice," and I was like, "Is he okay?
That's like such a good question. I didn't even think
Is
that.
he alive? Twice?"
This is the most good banter I've seen between them, is talking about getting struck by lightning.
Because it causes our banter. Here's my question: if you get struck by lightning once, I wouldn't think you could live. So if you die and then your body gets hit by lightning,
you can survive.
Do you get struck twice, or do you get struck once and then your dead body gets struck another time? This is chicken. Who came first, the chicken or the egg? You know, like, we don't know. We'll never know.
By the way, all this knowledge is coming from watching Grey's Anatomy.
Amazing.
But they do usually take real cases.
Yeah, the true facts are here. 100%.
I feel like there was a case on Grey's Anatomy where somebody got electrocuted and it goes through one point of your body and comes out another. So I wonder if that is like the vibe, is like electricity came in and out of me from two different points.
According to the National Weather Service, about 90% of people who are struck by lightning survive. So the question stands, is her great-grandpa okay? Twice? Did he survive twice?
Well, I guess the thing is, do you think it happened in the same lightning
time?
Storm or two different times?
Remember the saying, you won't get struck by lightning twice? Like,
buy a fucking lottery ticket.
I got questions. And then I wish we could continue that conversation, but then Lexi has to order a really dirty gin martini that makes me die.
Well, the annoying part is then like Jesse's like, oh yeah?
Well, she's like, make it really filthy dirty. And he's like, oh, yeah.
I'm like,
this waiter quit his job.
Wait, would you rather be the waiter at Dorit and PK's dinners or this one?
That one. Dorit and PK, that waiter was a diva. He was the best. I too would go in and be like, what's happening? Y'all okay? Okay, so Jesse doesn't want to make a big deal out of his quote, like, nothing weekend, because like the toe sucking was just a joke. Oh, it was just a joke, you guys.
I just cannot believe, you're on camera. You know this is being filmed.
Oh, here, let me give you, did you watch the after show?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let me give you a tidbit. Jesse said that he was maybe going to tell her like before it aired.
You are lying to me.
Are we surprised? Men always suck.
I guess what I'm shocked about is if I were on a reality TV show, I would assume everything is going to be aired. They kind of talked about this on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion this week. Like, you just assume everything is going to happen. And so, okay, I get not telling her this week because of this serious conversation. Like, he kind of wants to be exclusive. So then maybe it like lessens the burden of then telling this story. So I get waiting maybe a week, but thinking you're going to wait 6 months to tell her this is crazy.
But you also have to assume that for the show, other people are going to talk about your shit.
That's why I think he should tell her this week. But I get wanting to tell her after they've had this conversation. Like, let's say they go home and they have the conversation in private.
In his defense, this is all one Monday. So when did he have time to tell her?
That's, you know what? This is the only thing I want to know what day this happened on. This compared to
Monday.
kickball.
No, Monday. It's all on Monday.
Because
I know. This is why we need timestamps, because I have to see how long it took you. I have to judge you accordingly.
We have to know that this date and then Carl's thing and then kickball are all 3 separate days.
Okay.
They just have to be. So then
you would think
by the time she does find out, he has had so many days.
Well, it's just a joke, though, Meredith. It's just a joke.
I think we all have different humors, and we saw that with Paige and Craig.
I like the saying, it's not a joke if no one finds it funny.
Oh my God. Then men don't tell any jokes.
God, that one's going to hurt. You're going to get a bad review for that one. Meredith's a man hater. Can you believe?
I mean, I've had 5 years of
what else
filmed
is this podcast?
conversations about it.
Okay, so Lexi and Jesse don't talk about the toe sucking. Instead, they talk about how they aren't pursuing other people, and now they're gonna be exclusive. And then Sabrina, nope. Lexi says, in the words of Sabrina Carpenter, "Don't make me look stupid."
Which I was like, that is ironic.
Jesse doesn't know who Sabrina Carpenter is. He's too old.
She's clearly didn't even listen to "Don't Make Me Look Stupid."
Sabrina Carpenter is for the young, the confident, and the beautiful, all of which I barely can hold on to, let alone Jesse, okay?
That's mean about us.
I said me. I didn't throw you in
but
there.
like, let's call ourselves young.
No. You know what? No. I know where I am. Sabrina Carpenter's always like squat. She's got good knees. I don't have those kinds of knees.
She's got good knees.
Got good knees. That's how you know. She's younger than me, clearly. Anyway, so we go to New Jersey on a Monday. Crazy, all the same Monday. For the soft opening. Okay? Also, because you didn't watch the after show, this was, I need redemption. So on the record, Lindsay has made comments about how he named his bar after her and the situation, basically. And also, other fans have commented about how he named Soft Bar.
I agree.
Yeah.
But hear me out. A conversation.
Hear me out. He like, other fans have been like, how could you name this bar after your conversation with Lindsay? That's so dumb. Lindsay is like, you're welcome for Soft Bar. I obviously inspired the name. Carl on the after show was like, that's ridiculous, because then he explains that in Europe, so if you're cultured, they call non-alcoholic drinks soft drinks, and also they call soda a soft drink. So that's where he was going with this. And if you still think it's named after Lindsay, you're dumb. That's what he says. Basically.
I don't get why people can't just be like, oh my God, it is a crazy coincidence, and I see how people take it that way.
I truly didn't know. I truly thought that's where he was getting. Now it makes sense that like hard alcohol,
you're like, okay,
soft drinks.
There is another reason
I get
for this
it now.
name. But I don't like the holier than thou, like, how could you ever think that attitude from people?
Lindsay also, I guess, made a comment. This was so funny. When Carl announced like his bar is Soft Bar, Lindsay goes, "Do you get a hug with every drink?"
Oh my God.
That's the best diss I've ever. I was cracking up on the after show. It was so good. Anyway, so we meet Brian, the co-founder. And if I've learned anything from Vanderpump Rules, you got to know the co-founder, because shit could go up river real quick.
Oh, wait. Speaking of like Vanderpump Rules bars, this made me think about every other bar we've seen opened in the Bravo sphere.
We're veterans in this.
I don't have this information. There's no way to collect it, but I wish there was like a bar chart of when somebody first had their idea, like first came to the show with it, what their expected open date they thought would be, and then where the open date actually was.
All of it, every person on Vanderpump Rules, and then now Carl. There's got to be more in the industry. I mean, Ashley,
like Craig and Austin opened one.
You're right.
But
Chef had a restaurant. Oh,
did he really?
God. Yes, he did.
And like, I don't need like Leva's because hers weren't like opened on the show, but I need people who like created one after becoming.
They were like, "Hey, we're famous. We should open a restaurant." Yeah.
Because at some point, Carl does say this is going to open in January 2025. And I was like, that's funny, sitting here in March, April 2025.
Well, now it's summer 2025. We'll see. I'll keep everyone posted since I live near. Anyway, so Brian, the co-founder. Everyone remember Brian. There's also some mixologist and like another woman there. I don't know. But great. Brian's the one that's put in the money. We got to know Brian for next season for sure.
I want to know how much he put in. I want to know how much has been put into this total.
Carl's he's giving us a lot of Soft Bar, but not the stuff that the Toms gave us. So I need to know. How involved is Brian? What's your relationship like? Do you agree on everything? Are you the face and Brian's the work? How's this working out? How much of this bar do you own?
We learned to not really attach it to your whole reality TV personality because it's so easy to crumble.
Here comes Carl, Soft Bar. I'm just saying.
Very true.
So, Carl wants to break the cycle for his family, for other people when it comes to sobriety. Great. So everyone starts showing up. Emerald rides up on his motorcycle. We got Jason from Winter House here. Great to see ya. Carl's mom, Sharon, and Lou. Gabby shows up. Lil from the party, she's here. She actually made her outfit. If you look closely, you could see the safety pins.
I was dying. Like, stop.
I want to know what Carl likes about Lil. He likes that she's interested in him. Men are so stupid.
I was like, okay, I mean, I guess that's something.
Yep, I don't know. She could be a serial killer, but she takes an interest in me. So
I mean, if it has been a year since you've slept with anybody and you ended your engagement, I guess that's a good data point to go after, is just somebody who likes me.
He could have said she's funny, she's kind, we get along.
He did say other things.
Yeah, but they really weren't anything.
No, big. I know. Oh, I have
I
have the whole clip because I was like, I don't even know what to comment about this.
Hilarious. So all the beverages that Carl is selling can come with mushroom benefits. And everyone's like, ooh, mushrooms. And I was like, y'all aren't getting high.
Not like that.
Bailey is here. She plays a kind of a big role in
I need Sonia Bravo to explain the fuck is going on with that girlie.
Literally. See, if they had sent us the episodes ahead of time, we could have put this in our notes and been like, we don't understand what the point of this Bailey girl is.
Why didn't they just, because this isn't coming to us every week. They're filming one and then we get an episode and they're like slowly figuring this out. You had 6 months to just call her a friend up.
Yeah. Is she in? Is she out? Bravo. That would be one of our notes. You're welcome. So Sharon, Carl's mom, talks to Wes and Jesse. She lets them know it's been a crappy year since the breakup. Lindsay was mean to her too. And I was like, well, have you met Lindsay? Of course. If you associate with Carl, she hates you.
Oh my God, I love this. This is like the family, like extended family tea you kind of want, where you're like, tell me everything that's going on.
Sharon better come with receipts.
Thank you for putting this on camera, my girlie. This is what I wanted.
And she says she has not forgiven. But I wanted to be like, I know it's been a hard year since the breakup, but technically Carl did the breaking up, you know?
Like, what did you expect from Lindsay? But no, I don't agree with what she's saying, but I loved this whole moment. I'm like, give me more.
I did too. But as someone who's so protective of Hub House, I was like,
1,000%.
Sharon better be ready to show up when I call her ass out.
I am choosing my entertainment over Lindsay right now.
I've never No, of course I would.
I don't approve the message, but I will enjoy the message.
Of course. The boys tell Sharon, though, that Lindsay and Carl can sit at the same table. So, like, that's good. And Sharon says it's because he's taking the high road. It's like, damn, this 60-something-year-old woman beefing with pregnant Lindsay.
Based on this episode and what's to come, it seems like we started on a high and it's about to go downhill.
Because Lindsay wanted to ignore Carl. Carl's the one that had to say hello. He's the one that had to start the conversation. That was for the best.
It is awkward if they can't even like converse, but he tried to like high five her today. We don't need to do that.
That was crazy. Anyway, Sharon, though, changed subjects. She says she was rooting for Wes and Sierra. And Jesse's like, I know, Wes sucks.
I was like, Sharon, go in further. Let's talk about this more, actually.
Sharon, if you're going to drag Lindsay, start dragging Wes. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, we're going to leave the men without the drag, please. Paige and Sierra are here. Sierra compliments Carl's not tight white pants. They were
good. I will say, everybody looked really great at this event. And I will give Softbar some really good credit. I love their branding, their coloring. I did too. Like, this was a really beautiful event.
Yes. And everyone's very proud of Carl and his passions. Jesse says, you know, a bar, that's a high-risk endeavor, especially without alcohol, your moneymaker, because you can always upcharge out. That's why bars make money.
That is like the only way bars and restaurants make money.
And Wes doesn't really grasp the concept of this bar fully. Can't see the long term. But at least, you know, Carl loves what he's doing. And Paige says, if Kyle can be a DJ, Carl can have a bar with no alcohol. And you know what? You're right, because you're rich for literally just existing.
That's true. You know what?
You do so much.
I really love this concept. Like, I like the idea of it, but I think what's hard is like, it in real life, like how will it make money when a restaurant is already really challenging? And that makes me sad because that's also like a reflection of our world, that like how expensive things are, especially in New York. Like I would love for this idea to take off because I think it is a really beautiful idea. And I think Carl being passionate about sobriety and like that type of space is awesome. But I
let me tell you,
am worried.
Recently I did go out to dinner and I wasn't really feeling alcohol. I got car sick on the way. But I like sat down and I was like, you know what? I would love like a non-alc.
Yeah.
But it was like $10 cheaper. And I'm like, a win-win for me. So I stuck with non-alc drinks for the rest of the night. And it was lovely. But if you tried to sell me a juice for $21 with no alcohol, that's where it better be 11 tops in New York. I'm not paying over $11 for a juice.
It's the same price as well, I guess it's probably a little bit cheaper in Chicago, but let's say like a cocktail is like $15. A non-alc being $10, I might as well stick with water.
That, and like how often are you, because like a bar like this, you're either going out with the intention of like you're gonna be out all night, you're gonna drink, and I know there are sober people, but like
as people who are not sober, so if I'm choosing to not, I'm gonna get like a soda that's like $5.
Yes. Or it'd be like if I was walking past this place, I'm like, oh, cute, let's grab a drink, sit outside, like read my book, whatever.
That's what I think. I think it could have really good success during the day. Like if it can also serve coffee and like all different types of non-alcs and like a co-working space and all of that. But at nighttime, I think is where it'll struggle.
I think you're going to have to maybe offer an alcoholic option, but that ruins your brand. So I don't know.
I kind of like if it didn't during the day, like it's completely non-alc during the day.
Oh.
And then like again, I think,
but you could get a fun drink with no alcohol or a drink with alcohol, and you could just upcharge the alcohol drink.
Yeah, but that's also, I mean, I don't know the space because I would say when we go out, we drink more than we don't.
Yeah.
So we're also not the main customer base. And so I don't know, but I wonder if they've done any market research about this and if there is a desire for this, because I'm not the main target audience. So it's really hard to see outside of my own view because this isn't what I want from a business, but I would want this to like do well because I would want this to do well for Carl because I like the idea and like his passion for it. I sit exactly with his castmates where they're like, I love this for him, but
truly I love it for him. But like if I ever go sober, I'm probably not going to many bars.
Well, I think because this is if it stays completely non-alc, I would feel comfortable going here. And I guess I just don't know. It's not my experience. But I want to know what other people feel about this.
I agree. Give us your opinions. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Anyway, Lindsay is not going to come to the soft opening. But Carl is, he's a little bummed because he would love for pregnant women to come.
He's got to stop like calling her out.
We accept all, including pregnant women.
Oh my God.
He is aiming for an opening of January 2025. That has changed. Like we said, summer 2025. And then Paige, Jesse, and Gabby sit down. Immediately, Paige and Gabby are like, how's Lexi? And Jesse's like, we're really going to give it a go. We're going to give it a try. And both girls are immediately skeptical. And Gabby's like, do you want to be exclusive with Lexi? Just have sex with her? And Jesse's like, no, but they did have sex, which he won't claim, but.
Oh my God. I cracked up so much when he was like, I can't because like this guy is here.
This guy
laughing. There were so many little moments that had nothing to do with like the plot of the show that were just dropped where I was cracking up this episode.
No, it was truly so funny. And then we cut to Emerald and Bailey, and Emerald's like, this weekend I had a threesome and Jesse came in and he got his toe sucked. And Bailey's like, what? And he's like, I know. I don't think Lexi would really like that. And I was like, you know what, Emerald, get your check.
I'm convinced
your check.
Bailey got invited to kickball because she heard this information and they were like, we need it like said to Lexi.
I love Emerald being like, I don't know how Lexi would feel about that, but I'm telling. And I was
remember
like,
when I said I needed more of Emerald? This is it. I'm here. I am on his train.
Hell
Again,
yeah.
it wasn't his fault. It's the producers and the storylines of it all. But I'm on him.
He came in with Bailey and Lexi. That's his cast crew.
True.
What do you call it? A class. That's his summer house class. So he's got Lexi's back on that one. And then we cut back to Jesse, Paige, and Sierra. And Paige asks if Jesse told Sierra about him and Lexi. And Jesse's like, it literally just happened. Why would I tell Sierra? And Paige is like, it was a joke. I'm just going off of like what I saw last weekend with your chemistry together, flirting and stuff. And Jesse's like, no, we were just friends. And both Paige and Gabby are like, excuse me, we have eyes.
Yeah. It's about the switch up. Like when Lexi is gone, you were acting different. And that's what is concerning to them.
Also, it wasn't just like you were acting a little different, like fully. If I didn't know Summer House and I was just there for the party, I would have been like, those two are a lovely couple. Like, that's I truly would have been like, great couple.
Like, if like a girly pop is sitting watching it and her boyfriend walks in and is like, oh my God, what's going on between those two? You would think that they're dating or hooking up or he's interested in her.
Because, like, I think Lexi almost like makes Jesse nervous to talk to other girls, including like Paige and Gabby, and because she's so like she's so jealous. So like Jesse was a little more free, even probably with Paige and Amanda, and like because he didn't have Lexi like breathing down his neck, and also he didn't have Lexi to always be there.
Yeah,
so like
to flirt with too. Like his flirting didn't come out at her.
My God, like I said, one rando could have been like those two are dating. I was feeling it. If you put these two in my romance book, I'd be shipping them.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. But what's crazy is like Jesse's like, oh, she's not here, so I'm just gonna be me. When that's you should be you even when she's there. Like it's crazier to be more you when she's not there. This is filmed. Like she's gonna see it.
I'm gonna say it. He just wanted to hook up with her. He just wanted to fuck her.
I don't think like a one night stand though. I think he is like
he wants to fuck her constantly because she's a hot girl. They're two, I've said it, hot people who just want to fuck exclusively. They don't actually like each other. Well, maybe they like fucking each other and like going to dinner, but they don't actually have feelings towards each other. But maybe Lexi's are growing. I should take that back. But truly, like this isn't. There's not a lot of base here for me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just challenging. Did she say anything about the like flirting on the after show?
She talked a lot about the toe sucking.
I think that was worse because he didn't mention it.
Not really, if I remember. The after show was only like 10 minutes too, but it was a lot of the toe sucking.
Because I also don't think some of the flirting wasn't that bad with Sierra and Jesse. I think the like conversation about like, well, what if I'd gotten there first is worse.
Can I tell you, when Paige was like, we saw you guys flirting, and then the producers cut to them on like the floaty, I was like, this was the tamest. Give me them grinding.
I know that.
Grinding to the music. I thought they were going to literally hook up right there.
That was just a joke. Like, to me, that was like taking a moment and just capitalizing on it.
He's like, your leg turns me on. That was funny. None of them dancing, though, I was like, and hook up. Straight up
and hook up. Put something over your camera. This and put something over your camera.
Put something over your camera.
And bang tonight.
Truly. Okay, so then we see jump scare. Silas is here.
I missed that. I don't know how I missed it, but I saw it online after the fact, and I was wow, blessed by an angel, Miss Silas.
My girl Jasmine was also there. Jasmine, you know I love you, and I support you, and I want to get you far away from that man. I love you so much. Baby girl, never stop fighting for your rights. Silas, though, yuck. Oh my God. I was like, ugh. And that, you know what, Carl, I have questions. If you are inviting Jasmine and you by chance had to invite Silas, because that's fine. But are you friends with Silas? I have to know now.
Well, I'm like, everybody online was like, where's Jordan? We love our girl Jordan. No, she lives in New York. Come on, where are all these people?
You didn't invite the ones I like? You could have invited Bria before, literally anyone.
You know what?
What?
I feel like we need to do a little swap where they're each on each other's shows to revive the Summer House Martha's Vineyard, like to intro back into Martha's Vineyard.
Put all the bad ones in one house and all the ones I love in the other. That could be fun.
We really could have tested some time with the Martha's Vineyard crew going to Summer House last summer.
Oh, that
to
would
see the interest.
Fun.
Because the Vanderpump people visited twice.
That could have been so fun.
Because they put them on pause. So I get it. They didn't film last year, but like that could have reawakened the interest.
They could have done it while Silas was on leave. Oh my God, that would have been so fun. He was back by this time. They could have done it on a day Silas was busy. Oh my God, that would have been so fun. Him.
I mean, like Jasmine and Silas can just not. We needed Preston. We need Jordan.
I'll
and
stand
Bria
by Jasmine
though.
Oh my girl, Shanice, what's up?
Because I want them to go out and have fun and be wild. Like that's not Jasmine.
Jasmine, even pregnant, went out every night. She was more out than Paige's.
Hear me out. People say they want Lindsay Hubbard on Roni. What if Jasmine's on Roni? Because we don't get the dudes that much.
No dudes? I'm in. Give me the girls, baby.
Jasmine on and Jordan on the city. Like whatever our like city version is. Our little like in between Roni and Summer House.
So fun. You know Shanice would move back for that. Oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah. Shanice up from Tampa. Like, get that girlie.
Put Shanice and Gabby in a club together. I gotta see it. You know what?
Gabby could help with Shanice's wardrobe.
And Shanice could get Gabby drunker and get her laid. Oh my God, the fun we would have.
I like this idea. Man.
Why can't I'm literally, if Bravo doesn't hire me in the next 30 days, I have thought to boycott their shows. I won't, but I'm threatening. Hire me.
I get sad knowing we like left these people. Like, help, I'm still at the restaurant. I'm still on Martha's Vineyard.
They were so good. Anyway, so Carl gives his speech. Yay, yay, soft bars for everyone, including pregnant people. Thank you, everyone, for being here, including Brian. Yay. So then, after his speech, Bailey and Sierra are talking with Jesse. And Bailey's like, hey, heard you sucked a toe last weekend. And Sierra's like, yuck, what'd you do? So no one really knew. And Jesse's like, it's just a casual toe sucking. It's not a big deal. And Bailey's like, but does Lexi know? How would she feel? And Jesse knows. He knows he fucked up. And he tries to blame Emerald. He's like, I thought Emerald was cool.
Dude, you're the one who kept bringing up that night and trying to put Emerald on blast. Of course he's going to give it right back to you.
Also, it doesn't look like you're making that much of an attempt to get to know this man. You're busy with Lexi and or Wes. You don't have time for him.
And now that it's out, like now is the time he really should have like texted Lexi.
Oh, because Jesse is like, oh, are people saying I like got my toe sucked? And then like, oh, people are also saying that I was flirting a lot with Sierra. So he's like, oh, I got to text Lexi to make sure she knows I wasn't flirting with Sierra because out of context, that could be bad. And I was like, and text her about the toe sucking. It's like not that difficult.
It's not like you found out one day about the flirting discussion. And then 3 days later, you found out about the toe suck thing. Like you found out about these, that both of these are being talked about. Why not tell her about both of them?
At the same time, like, he's so
also,
weird.
I'm going to be honest. If I had to prioritize one of those, because we just became exclusive, so, like, to hit both of those is rough. I would go toe suck over flirting.
I would, too, because in the context of, like, there was a threesome happening, I got my toe sucked. It looks really bad opposed to, like, hey, everyone thinks I was really flirting with Sierra. I want you to know it was more brother-sister. Like, I don't feel that way. Because in one scenario, you could easily, and like, I'm not saying it's not true, but you could easily say like, that's not how I saw it and that's not how I feel and I'll be more conscious of it and whatever.
I think Sierra would say something similar.
Yes.
So you have nobody else to help you defend the toe suck.
Yeah,
I think Emerald's not on your side. Whereas Sierra would be like, yeah, we're just friends.
And that's why men don't understand women. They find it so hard to understand what we're thinking. Because the toe sucking was just a joke.
It's jokes.
It's a joke. It was funny.
Like funny, haha.
Anyway, we're away from New Jersey, back in New York City. Monday, still crazy. Lexi is modeling. She's here to refresh her brand, get some new pics taken.
Okay, I hate when we get modeling stuff on these shows because I'm like,
modeling.
oh wow, just generic photos.
Another hot girl being taken or getting her photo taken. Great. Lexi's mom and sister are here because that's her team. You know, we heard all about it. It was great. She's also wearing Jesse's lucky underwear, which I wouldn't tell my mom this. I immediately went, not in front of the mom.
I was like, did you ask him for these? Did he wear these over at your apartment?
Did you
wash these dirty? Them? Yeah.
I immediately said, you would even if I was obviously wearing something like this in front of my mom, which I never would, I wouldn't admit that this is hit. No. My mom thinks I'm a virgin and we're going to keep it that way. And also, even if she doesn't think that, that's how it go. We don't need my mom to talk about my sex life.
She said this because she's like proud to have these. And that's also a weird thing. Like, I don't need you to tell me that you have his underwear.
Also, side note, they fit Lexi like really well for such a tiny gal.
I am concerned about how tiny those are on Jesse.
Did he get a size too small?
Are those like compression?
Because they didn't look big on her, and she's a tiny woman.
And I bet, okay, they have some stretch to them, but like they fit her like a glove.
It
Same as these spandex she wears like in the same day.
If they're your lucky underwear, they have been used. So they've stretched out a little. These had the compression perfect to them. Make it make sense.
I also thought a lot about this underwear, more than I needed to.
Don't bring up what kind of underwear you're wearing in front of your parents. It's not necessary. Even if you club with them, don't do that either, though.
No, I don't even want to bring up my own underwear in front of my parents.
Call your mom 3 times a week. Tell her you love her, and that's all you got to do. That's it. That's it. Give her an update on your PG life.
Well, let's remember, she also went clubbing with her parents.
Don't do it.
Made out with Jesse in front of them.
I'm telling you how to act in front of your parents, okay? Tell them you love them. Call them 3 times a week. PG life only. Mom, I hung out with my friend Tuesday and we drank sodas in the park. You know, like
this reminds me, I'm literally taking a note to talk about on our Also podcast episode that'll drop Sunday, everybody.
Oh my God,
about something weird families do.
Oh, probably kiss on the lips.
No, it's worse. It's worse.
No, nothing's worse.
We'll debate. Just everybody put a pin on this.
Everyone know kissing your parents on the lips is the worst thing you could do.
I promise there's something worse.
This is not a safe space for you if you kiss your parents on the lips. It's not. It's terrible.
Again, we also agreed kissing other people in front of your parents. Just not a step below weird. We're not it. We're not going clubbing with our parents.
It's not us.
We're not kissing people in front of our parents. We're not wearing our partner's underwears in front of our parents.
Meredith and I have very normal relationships with our parents. We hang out with them. We spend lots of time with our parents, but we know the lines we do not cross in front of our parents.
Yeah.
Anything to do with sex is one of those things. Kissing, boyfriend, no.
Anything intimate details, whether with your family or about yourself, we're not discussing it.
No. Goodbye. Anyway, so Lexi does bring up that Jesse said that him and Sierra were flirting, but that's not true. And she says she also has only seen their relationship very brother-sister like. She's never seen them flirt before, which is kind of a red flag. Do it
when you're around.
Well, in his defense, or her, I don't know. But he doesn't hang out with anyone else when she's in the house.
Yeah.
So she's never seen him interact with anyone.
Well, she probably didn't watch last season.
And here's why. Before you go on a show, you watch. I'm so done with dumb people. Anyway.
You got to at least watch some recent episodes. Maybe not the whole season, but you got to get a little snapshot of what's going on. Because even last year, they had banter a little bit more than friends, but she was actively dating somebody else. So it really leaned towards friends, but they have a good groove.
So Monday's crazy. Let's jump back to New Jersey for the soft opening.
Still Monday.
So Lil is explaining of how she met Carl, and Gabby overhears because Lil's like, oh, my parents met him in the summer at a soccer game, and then I slid into his DMs. And Gabby was like, this summer? And Lil was like, yeah. But then Emerald is like, oh, the soccer game was this summer. And she's like, yeah. And then I slid into his DMs. So there's not a lot. But Gabby clocks that because she's like, oh, last summer he was engaged.
I'm going to pin that because I want to talk about it when Lindsay and her talk about it.
Because they broke up in September.
It was Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. And it was 2 months. So technically all of summer, Carl was engaged.
Technically, on all facts, he was engaged.
Technically, figuratively speaking, he had checked out a long time ago, but
true. But he wasn't.
He was still engaged.
We didn't see that version of checked out.
Yes,
like
we just saw him begging for a hug.
Stop.
So they
no. He didn't beg for a hug. He begged for the squeeze.
Hug. Stop. I tried to make it PG, but you crossed the line.
Sorry, I have to. If I have to be traumatized with the thought, you have to be traumatized with the thought.
So they've known each other for a year, Carl and Lil. That's what they say. And Gabby's like, that's suspicious, which we all know Gabby has to bring this up on camera, which we all agree to. Anyway, back in NYC, longest Monday ever, they're going to play kickball. And I just want to scream and yell because I played in this league the summer before. They played in a different league last summer. And then they joined the East River League that then I joined. I was in this league the summer before they joined this league.
We have talked about this. I know for a fact we've talked about it, but I never remember if this was like recorded or not about the whole kickball debacle.
Well, I played summer of 2023.
Yeah.
In this league, they played in a different area league because we heard rumblings that Summer House was playing kickball, but they played in the fall. We played in the fall. Now they're playing in the fucking summer in the league.
Also, this game is set up. This is like midweek during the day. Like they're not, this isn't a league.
Yeah.
Or like this game specifically isn't for a league. They're clearly playing the like people who work for Volo.
Have you seen now the people that were on the other Volo team being like, and this was the day Summer House beat us at our own game?
No, it's people who work for Volo.
Yeah, and they're like,
but I love that it's like a PR thing.
No,
I think it's genius. Like
hilarious.
This is so smart of them to do. Because I also loved them doing this. Like, this is a good scene. Like, normal, because let's be honest, they can't just live a normal life as we would want them to. They're not going to go record their actual kickball game. That would be psychotic.
To the guy that wrote the review, here's some producing. This was fake.
Here's some analysis of behind the show. This was
mechanicisms or whatever you called it. Mechanications. Here it is. So, Wes has put this whole thing together because he's hoping him and Sierra can become friends over kickball because last summer she loved kickball.
I love Paige clocking that she was like, no, she loved it because she loved you.
Yeah, what the fuck is she going to do at kickball now? Also, again, you cannot convince me that he's not still obsessed with Sierra because he is doing everything in his power to get her to like him.
He wants her in the box he wants her in, though. Well, he wants all the benefits without having to give anything, which is classic guy. Like,
suck my dick.
Oh, can things just go back to normal?
No. Can we just be friends? No. Goodbye. So Lindsay and Gabby are here. Wes was like, hey, I texted my mom to see what position a pregnant woman should play. Nothing that has abdomen shots, so like first and picture, definitely not. But listen to your body is what Wes got from his mom.
This is what's hard is like he is different than some guys because he has this view that he grew up with. But then he's still a fuckboy in the way he treats girls he likes or has dated.
I have a lot of friends who are like, I'm scared to have a boy for a kid because you could do all you can like to raise him, but he's still gonna have shitty ass friends that are gonna like
it's society. Like you don't have full control of any child you raise. And I think that is really scary.
Yeah. So but my friends were all like, I know I'm gonna just raise him right, and then his shitty ass friends are gonna tell him to mistreat a girl and he's gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, like, because you also get like validated for doing that.
And your parents don't know. Your parents don't have to know unless you're on a TV show. Honestly.
I think about that. This is really extreme, even with like serial killers and
your parents don't have to
like
know.
mass shooters. Like, how much like do you really have an influence over your kid? Like, obviously, there's things you can control, but like, I sometimes feel bad for those parents.
I don't think about raising bad men. I am scared to raise kids because I'm like, what if I raise like Ted Bundy? And then it's on me? I didn't condone that.
Even if it's not necessarily my fault, like,
but it's on me.
I gotta take the blame.
The parents always get questioned.
See, I think, like, what if I hate the kid?
Then become a serial killer for all I care. I'll call the police.
I become the serial killer then?
No, have your kid become a serial killer. Call the police and be like, I did the right thing as a parent. Turn him in.
Can you imagine? You're like, I hate my kids, so I set them up to be a serial killer so that I can
you
just turn them in.
You actually committed the murder. You just framed your child.
Wait, that's awesome. A good movie.
That's a really good movie.
Bravo, we're here. Bravo. We have all the good ideas.
This is to Peacock now. We got you a great movie.
Wait, that would be a good like scripted series.
That's genius.
Who's the killer? A limited series. Who's the killer, the parent or the child?
Do you know how many women would be like, hell yeah, I'm going to watch that show. Frame my kid for murder.
My God.
You know how parents are like, oh, I want to like kill my kid right now because they do bad, but it's a figure of speech. Obviously, we don't condone killing children. What if, and then one parent is just like, I'm just going to set my kid up for murder. Get rid of him. Hands are clean.
I mean,
that's a great movie idea. Anyway, this is why we don't have kids. Anyway, so
we would set them up for murder.
If I hated them, yeah. Imagine we hate each other as kids, and we're like, we're gonna set them both up.
Who needs to bury a body when you can bury a body and set up your kids?
We got it. You won't even have to bury the body. You blame it on the kid. Be like, I found this in my house. It must be my kid. Go check his room.
Easy access to his fingerprints.
Immediately, I wrote the movie. Amazing. So,
anyways,
these poor kids.
Back to Monday.
We're still on Monday. Gabby also says no abdomen shots for her either. Because, you know, Gabby's lived a hard life this week. She had to go to New Jersey on a weekday, and now she has to play kickball.
All on a Monday.
All on the same day. She said in the same week. That's wrong. The timestamps showed us it's Monday still.
It's still Monday.
So Gabby and Lindsay then talk about the soft opening. Lindsay didn't go because she had to watch paint dry. And also she's already wasted so much time on this man. She's not going to spend 2 hours one way on a bus to New Jersey
good point.
To celebrate something that's not even open. It's still in action. And he's wasting more money.
I was like, you know what? Please. You're right. I didn't think she needed to go, but that really tells me she never needed to go. There's not even a shadow of a doubt that she needed to be there.
She's going to last 2 hours on a bus when she's pregnant. She's got to go. She's got to pee.
Also, now that I am on the Lindsay train of life, I love when she's a hater.
I'm upset. Think of how much fun you'd have if you rewatched now Summer House.
I don't know if I could because I think they also edit her to be the villain.
Yeah.
So it is hard.
But if you go in knowing you love her, it really does change. I feel like we watched two different shows.
No, I agree. And I think because I have rewatched episodes and gone back and seen them, I do see them like differently. But I think no matter what, my initial reaction during those seasons would have been. Yeah. Because of the society we were in, the like misogyny and the patriarchy that I was just so, I was crippled by the strength of it. And then the editing does her dirty.
Not here. I loved Hub House. She was crazy from the beginning. I was obsessed. Gabby confirms that the girl, Lil, did show up. And Gabby tells Lindsay about this timeline she heard of. And Lindsay's like, stop. I'm putting this together. So there was... This was so crazy. This was so Lindsay. This was Lindsay.
Two dumb bitches saying you're so right to each other. Yeah, no matter what was said, they were going to be like, damn.
This is literally us with the murder, blame your kid conversation we literally just had. So I won't judge. Anyway.
You're so right. Ours is worse. We're talking about murdering people and blaming out children.
This is better. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Who am I to judge?
Who am I?
Who am I to judge? So... There was one morning, the last week of Carl and Lindsay being together. It was after the soccer game before they broke up. She went into their room to give Carl a hug because he needs a good hug.
Oh my God.
And on his phone, there was a DM where someone sent their phone number and Carl swiped out of the DM immediately. And Lindsay's like, it all makes sense. I was like, Delulu, girl, go for it.
Remember when there was that rumor that Carl was cheating on her whenever the breakup immediately went out? I bet Lindsay has said this story when they first broke up, and that's how that rumor got started. Not that Lindsay planted it fully, but,
no, but
you
she
say
was
to
like,
one
there
person,
was
says
a
it
number.
to another.
Yeah. Lindsay is pissed because meanwhile, Carl's sitting here going, I'm the victim. I haven't moved on since Lindsay. I saw Lindsay in her bikini and thought about how she's the last person I had sex with. Lindsay didn't say that part, but that's what I thought of. Poor me, save me from Lindsay. Gaslighting everyone. And then Lindsay says, my favorite quote. She says, you're a fucking fraud. You're a phony. You're a liar. And now I'm adding, oh, fuck. Wait, I got it wrong. I wrote it wrong. Oh my God, cut this out. This is so embarrassing. What did she say?
I have it. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, could you do it? That was my bad. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
No worries.
Someone kill me and blame it on your kid.
No, I loved this quote as well, and it is the lead picture on my quotes this week.
Amazing. Say it.
Well, I only have the second part that you just started effing up. You're a fucking fraud. You're a phony. And now I'm adding cheating to your fucking resume.
Oh, that one. I'm adding cheating. I just said you're adding.
I had to listen to it like 4 times because I kept wanting to write what I would have said in it. So that's why you stumbled, because the way you would have delivered that, the second half is a little wonky.
But it was so good when she said it. And I was like, I don't even care if it's true. That's awesome.
The thing. That's where I struggled. I was like, I'm just going to enjoy this moment for Lindsay. But
let her have it.
I see it differently.
Lindsay's not gonna freak out. Okay, give it to her. So Lindsay also said that he totally went into the couch breakup already talking to a girl. Like how could you not? How could you not?
I still stand on this. I don't think Carl had a plan. He doesn't have a plan for anything in his life. Look at this goddamn bar. There's no plan ever. So, why are we giving him that much credit?
Because Lindsay's mad. Because Lindsay's pregnant.
100%.
She's hormonal.
100%. No shade to Lindsay having these slightly delulu thoughts.
I saw a Blue Sky tweet that was like, finally, Lindsay is putting her superpower to use. Being pregnant and no one can be mean back to you. And I was like, finally. Being mean pregnant and no one could be mean back to you.
Oh, wait, can we talk about this timeline, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Lil said at that party, my parents met Carl at a soccer game. Let's start with that. Him meeting parents and them saying you may like to meet our daughter doesn't necessarily mean any thing sexual, because he was fully engaged. I don't think he was telling randos that he was going to break off his engagement. No. So I also think her and Carl would have connected in some capacity, even if him and Lindsay got married.
Okay, fair. I also think the way Lil said it how it was presented was very Lil's like, oh, my parents met him and then I slid into his DMs. There was no timeline to that. Gabby
agreed.
And then Gabby said the summer, and she was like, yeah, but Emerald was like the soccer game.
But it was so miscommunicated because Emerald saw the miscommunication happening and I think tried to clarify it or help Lil see the bigger picture, but Lil does not put the things together that are happening that she needs to say no, I did not slide into his DMs in August, which she has since come out and given the screenshot that she slid into the DMs in October. And before I even saw that, I flagged this timeline being I don't think, even if Lil did DM him in August, I don't think it was anything to
I don't either.
Burn Carl at the stake for.
I don't either. However, just to be Dulu, gotta do it. Listen, Carl is kind of doing this whole Lindsay moved on and I haven't.
That's something
Lindsay,
to burn
that
him
would
for.
Kind of piss me off. Yeah. And now stop putting the blame on me. You're out here with another girl, dude. It doesn't even matter when. Literally keep my name out your mouth. Because Gabby also says that Carl brought up a million times that he wants pregnant people to come to his
That's
bar.
what it is. Is you're being so
Stop
fucking
talking
weird.
It's like general. A West. Leave me alone.
Yes.
Leave me alone.
Because I enjoyed Carl's conversation when they went to that dinner when it was like the 5 people who went and Carl wore those ugly ass green clogs, of him being open, like, hey, I haven't had sex with anyone. That wasn't weird to me because he wasn't like, it was kind of weird because he said about Lindsay in the bathing suit. Like that part of it got weird, but just him opening up to them, like, I don't know how to be back in the game. I'm not in the game and you guys are. That's a perfectly fine conversation. Like, talk about your experience. But yeah, it is coming off like, oh, I'm just sitting here and Lindsay's really out there.
I saw Lindsay pregnant. That could have been my baby. Like, it's very weird. It's weird.
Just talk about your experience separate to her because you guys are no longer linked. Stop linking everything back to her. And also, I hate to defend him and Lil because I think this is so fucking weird and I don't enjoy watching it. So I don't want to be on the Carl defender. I just love a timeline and I keep my mind is thinking about this timeline.
I did see Lil posted that she DM'd him in October, I believe, which fine. I think Lindsay currently doesn't know. You know, I think the timeline has gotten fucked up for her. That being said, I don't think she's going to listen to whatever the fuck Carl has to say. So this is just going to end up in a fight and no one's going to care.
No matter what truth even got to her, she is just owed a yelling at him because we saw Sierra and really champion Sierra like giving it to Wes that first weekend. Had Lindsay given it to Carl that first weekend, we all would have championed it. Just because hers is like 4 weeks delayed doesn't mean I won't champion it.
She's
will
pregnant.
Say
she's got those hormones going.
Meeting random parents at a game is not a reason to be mad at him. Be mad at him for the like the DM and the like weird conversations.
I am curious though. This brings up the question: you meet parents at a soccer game, and the parents are like, "Oh my god, you should meet our daughter. She lives in like New York." Does he bring up that he's engaged, or is he just like, "Yeah, tell her to slide in my DMs"?
They said like I think the whole family should meet because Lil has said that Carl had met I think her sister or somebody like another sibling even before meeting her. So I think it's just like
what's going on with this family.
The parents like loved Carl and so I think the family loves it and like just like
that's strange.
Connected with him.
My family doesn't take in strays.
My family does. This is so something my family does. Like my parents met this couple at a brewery that we love and literally been connected since. They lived with my parents for like a month and a half while they were finishing building their house. Like this is what my family does. Like my family would take in Carl and tell him to like come on our family vacations.
No. Unless you're like a friend of mine, you're not in my family. Like you got to go through.
Love strangers. Me and my mom especially love strangers.
You got to have a connection. We're just not talking to randos at soccer games because we're not at them. But
that is all I do. Me and my mom hate talking to people we know. We love talking to people we don't.
Yuck. Anyway, so Paige shows up. And Wes is like, where's Sierra? And she's like, oh, Sierra's at brunch. And he's like, she's coming full stum?
He's like, I did this all for her.
Paige is like, she's not going to come because she doesn't like you anymore. And Wes is like, I won't give up. And I was like, give up.
That drove me nuts.
He was telling you to give up.
He was like, oh, what I've been doing isn't working, so I'm going to double down.
No. Here's the thing.
No.
You think because we've seen the movies that it's like so cute and almost like romantic when someone tells you to not do something and then you do it to win them over and you just like wear them down. If I say no, leave me the fuck alone. Stop inviting me to shit. Stop making
But it's weirder because it's not like he's trying to, like she's playing hard to get and he's trying to like win her over romantically. He's trying to win her over as a friend. This is so creepy. She's telling you she doesn't want to be friends with you and she wants space and wants to coexist and you're like going to try to force her into a friendship?
So weird.
They better ream him for this at the reunion because I find this so gross. And this is why girls have a hard time being around guys sometimes. Like, you're trying so hard to force me into a friendship. I don't feel comfortable. And then he's like, oh, I feel uncomfortable because we're not friends. I don't care if you feel uncomfortable. My safety is more important.
That's it. It's getting like stalker-ish level, which is kind of weird. And then also, just if I was Sierra, I'd be like, why is he putting so much effort does he like me? And then he's gonna be like, no, I only like you as a friend. And it's like, then why do you want, what is this effort?
Why do your feelings matter so much? Because when she was comfortable with all those like publications coming out, you didn't care about her feelings. It was all about your feelings and making sure people knew about your feelings. And now that she's pissed off at you and doesn't want to be friends with you, it's again about your feelings because you're uncomfortable. Stop centering yourself in this.
There's just something weird when like guys are like, oh, the girl misread my intentions. And it's like, dude, we're literally telling you to not be friends and you're doing like romantic shit for us. And like,
but let's stop with the like intentions. How about it's like the actual effect you're causing on people? Like what is actually happening?
Your actions are showing me one thing, but you're telling me another thing. And then you're like doing other actions that show me a third thing. Like, just leave me alone.
Take my words at face value and leave me alone.
What do I always say? Believe me when I tell you. Believe them at face value for who they are. Leave us alone.
Like, stop pushing this. It takes years to have a redemption arc too. Like, Wes is trying to rush through his so the public likes
30
him.
30 days, yeah.
Because if Sierra forgives him, the public would forgive him, let's be honest. But this is making it worse.
It's so weird.
I think he needs to be yelled at more than he was last season.
And when I tell you, like, guys don't hear the word no. Like, this is a prime example.
Well, they hear it and they think it's a challenge. He's like, let me double down my effort.
No, so weird. Literally, leave me alone.
This is what you were, like, encapsulating with that TikTok of, like, watching reality TV puts me in so many different moments and like I am so much more emotionally mature because of it, because I have experienced something like this, but I've never seen the guy's conversation behind the scenes. So it also gives you the multiple perspectives you don't get in your own everyday life. And so it's like, wow, you were willing to say that to a camera.
That's great. That's crazy. Yeah, you think that looks good?
Like, that's an inside thought. You shouldn't be thinking that anyways, but like those are escaping.
That's crazy.
And this was in an interview chair after the fact too.
He was
like, you still
fully
think that.
Discussing it. It's so weird. Anyway, so the rest of the house shows up, including Bailey, who's not really in the house. Carl tries to give Lindsay a high five. She says, no, thank you. But he said he heard no, and he went, all right.
I was like, all right, respecting boundaries better than West.
There we go. Lexi and Jesse show up hand in hand. Carl and Amanda are not here because they're in Italy. Sierra's at brunch. So Paige is like, I guess I got to lock in. And she did talk about this on the after show. She said, Lindsay and Gabby were talking about the Carl situation. Lexi didn't know which way to run on the bases. So Paige said, I can't hang out with you.
My God.
No, she literally at the
That makes sense why she was asking so many questions about the rules.
No, Paige literally said Lexi didn't know anything. So like Paige got annoyed because she's like, I can't hang out with you.
I have played kickball once where somebody was like, is this like baseball? And I was like, yeah, it is with your foot. Like, did you never play this in like gym in grade school?
You know what's a huge pet peeve ick for me? When you're playing kickball with someone and they don't just like step on the base, they like they have to tag you with the ball. And I'm like, oh my God, it was a force out. You could just step. You got to know the rules. Rules.
Well, here's a reverse ick that I did notice in this game. People don't touch home plate. I'm like,
no, literally, I took a note. Okay, tell me you're a sports girl without telling me you're a sports girl. I was
like, I need to go find this. Do I need to make a video about this? Because it drove me nuts.
We will talk about it. Okay, so
good.
Anyway, the boys go like stretch and then the girls go stretch.
I love a split up moment.
You gotta split. So Lindsay tells the girl, she's like, Carl tried to high five me. Ew. And the girls are like, yuck.
Oh my God.
But then Lindsay's like, here's the timeline with this girl. And like lays out the timeline. And Paige is eating it up. She's like, oh my God, no way.
We just talked about this timeline so much. I think it kept driving me nuts.
Well, Lindsay's current real timeline is this.
I know. She's like crashing out about it. And I'm like, it's because I have more information.
Big smile on my face, like, no way.
Because they're buddies too now. Like, it is fun to watch them go to work together. I think that's also why I didn't like Lindsay. I was always a Paige stan. So I always picked Paige over Lindsay.
Remember I would tell you my heart would break if these two women
could run the world.
This is the moment. Now think about it. They're both exes to terrible Bravo men, Bravo white men who look the same and whose names are kind of the same. Oh,
do you remember
God.
when Lala was on Watch What Happens Live and was like, all we have to do is save Ariana? That's how I feel about Amanda. Like,
oh, we have
Paige,
one person left.
Yeah.
We have one left. We can get her.
Everything happens in threes. The Vanderpump crew went through it first, and then like we had our Ariana basically first with Lindsay, and now it's the reverse order.
Everything happens in threes.
I need somebody in astrology to tell me why this is happening like this, and tell me when Amanda and Kyle will break up.
My God. Okay. So Carl tells the boys that he likes Lil. She's a little quirky though.
She likes me, so I like her back.
Oh, I hate when guys are like, "Oh, she's quirky." Yuck.
She is quirky though. That is an accurate representation.
But like I don't know about quirky.
Did you see the comparison of Lil to Joe from Vanderpump?
Oh, yuck. What? Oh, yuck. Oh my God.
Isn't it spot on?
Oh my God.
At least Lil isn't crashing out on Instagram.
Not yet. Oh my God. Especially that one conversation, now that you say it, that one conversation where she's like, here's my magic cards. Oh my God. Get these girls off my screen. There's a very specific girl not meant for reality TV. It is this type of quirky girl. It's this one. I don't know how else they're described.
It helps that they're not like best friends like Joe kept talking about her and Schwartz.
He's in the family. Oh, yuck.
That's true. We have so much time to crash out.
Oh, I want to die. Anyway, if anyone ever describes me as quirky, that might be the end of me. That might be the moment.
I don't want a guy I like to call me quirky. You can call like a hobby I do quirky, something very specific.
No, quirky's not meant. Quirky's not a good word. I don't think it's ever meant in a good way.
I agree.
I think it's a nice way to say weirdo.
You're weird.
Yeah. Quirky is a nice weirdo.
You're like trying to put out the feelers to be like, is it mean to say they're weird?
I would prefer you just call me a weirdo and like be done with it.
I agree, because I think if you're secretly trying to be derogatory to me, that's worse than just being like, you're weird. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
But here's the thing. Yeah. You're trying so hard. Like, you're so unsure of how weird I am. And you don't like think highly of me as a person. So you're calling me quirky.
It's a backhanded compliment.
It's a backhanded compliment. It's not, no. It's how you say
because I think when somebody says you're weird, they actually do think it's cute and probably endearing.
Or they just don't like you. You're a weirdo.
Yeah. But like if you're trying to say that about somebody you're dating, you're like, man, you're so weird in this way. Like, it's like fun. But if you're trying to say I'm quirky, you're like trying to dance around how you don't like me.
I don't like quirky. No one described me as quirky. Oh, tell me I'm terrible before that. Anyway, so Jesse tells the boys he's a one-woman man. And Emerald is like, even though you got your toes sucked.
I was like, he's here to play. Keep it up. Keep it up.
And Emerald's like, I even told the girl to suck your toe. And I was like, drama.
The clarification about how it went down.
That's awesome.
Jesse's trying to prepare himself to be able to tell Lexi about this and for her to see this. Yeah. So then like this conversation is in the episode after. So you can be like, see, Emerald, like Emerald's the one who set this up. I didn't want to do this.
Emerald said fuck her. And he said no, but suck toe is you be stronger. Say no.
Agreed.
So everyone's like, did you bring it up to Lexi? And he was like, no. So then we cut back to the girls and they're talking about the threesome that Emerald had. And then Bailey's like, oh my God, Jesse was there. He got his toe sucked. And Lexi's like,
those producers were like, hey, I know we ripped you out of this show, but you're here and you're here to drop this knowledge.
We'll pay you the one episode fee. Yeah, do it. And Lexi didn't know. She had no idea that Jesse got his toe sucked. And Paige is like, wow, he should. All the girls are gassing her. he should have said something. That's so bad of him. He knew what he was doing.
I love when bombs are dropped and like, this is real. Lexi is finding out right here. And I love when shows are so fucking real.
Yeah. Paige is like, I'd be so mad I'd never speak to him again. And Lexi's like, I guess that's what I'm going to do. Because the rest of kickball,
I love that this dropped before kickball. And now we have to play a whole game. And she's like having her little pout moment. And I love it. I'm like, ice him out. Make him freak out about what's going on.
I loved when she was like, what are the rules? And Wes tries to explain and Jesse's like, I'll just tell you what to do.
She's like, don't.
And she's like, ugh. He thinks I'm ditzy too.
He's like trying to flirt with her and be like, oh, I can do everything. We're in this together. And she's like, I don't want to be.
Can I tell you though? This is, you know how I said guys, some guys really love a ditzy girl. Yeah. Jesse probably thinks it's so cute that Lexi has no idea how to play kickball. Couldn't be me. I'm showing up and I'm going, here's the rules. Okay.
You know what I just realized is he thinks like, oh, then I'm smart. If she doesn't know these things, then I get to be incredible and I get to show her and I get to talk to her about this.
You want to know why men hate us? Because none of them could mansplain sports to us. Because we already know. We already got it.
No, I actually, sometimes when I'm drunk and I'm on like Bumble, if a guy has a golfing photo, I'll be like, your swing's really off. Even though I don't know anything about it. You just know they sit there and stare at it.
Yeah, I recently asked a man if he watched women's basketball, and he said, not really. And I said, then we're not aligned.
Yeah.
And he was like, I watch men's basketball. And I was like, oh, yeah.
I had someone say that they don't watch basketball at all. And I was like, we're really not compatible. Like, I went to Kansas. Like, this is half of my year is watching college sports.
Literally die. How about that? Anyway, so time for kickball. Gabby gets on base. I think we need to give a big round of applause to our girl Gabby. She makes it all the way home. Wes is a pretty bad kick that we see. It was pretty terrible. Okay, but it's hard to hit a kick. I will say.
I need to practice. Can't hit it.
I know.
My friend told me lock the ankle.
You gotta lock the ankle.
Don't swing your foot because that's what gives it a pop up. And he told me that our last game that I played last season, I was like, I could have used this 6 weeks ago. Yeah,
as someone who has bad ankles, though, it's hard to lock because I get scared and I want to just flip it up.
It's not a natural.
It's not natural.
Kick I know. For me.
I know. It's also if you hit the outside by accident, oh, goodbye. You can't hit the toes. It's like a really specific place.
Who has a kickball laying around to go practice in the park?
I know. One time, so Meredith and I were at work we worked together if you didn't know. And there was this kickball league. Meredith didn't join, but I sure did. And I was playing shortstop right next to the CEO of our company. And I got nailed in the face. Oh my God. With the kickball, and all I heard, the CEO's name was Craig, and all I heard him say was, "Oh, you didn't catch it."
and let me tell you, that man was quirky.
Oh. Oh my God, he was so quirky. That's the only way to describe him.
You know what? Him and Lil have some similarities.
The same person, if you were to ask me. Oh, I'm like,
maybe that's her dad. Maybe that's the dad Carl met.
Because, oh my God, I really did get hit. And all I heard him, like, our friend Mara was like, oh my God. And all I heard Craig was, you could have caught it. And I was like,
you're so right.
My face is bleeding. My face is literally bleeding. Oh, it was awesome. I could have sued him for that. No, I couldn't. I signed a waiver. Anyway, so Lindsay and Lexi aren't really paying attention to the game. They're going to chat in the field. But in their defense, there's a lot of balls going out to the field, and the guys just keep catching
This is what I like. There's not much work to do in the infield except for when the ball comes to tag someone out. That's all you're there for.
Of course. So Lexi is just upset that Jesse didn't tell her about the toe sucking. And Lexi knew about Sierra and Jesse flirting, but Jesse told her that like really wasn't true. It's just brother-sister stuff.
Yeah.
And Lindsay's like, oh, I heard about the flirting. It was crazy.
Lindsay being like, I wasn't there either, but like, man, did I hear about the flirting.
All about it. And Lexi's like, what'd you hear? And Lindsay's like, oh my God, I heard there was this whole conversation about what if Jesse met Sierra before Wes last summer. And Lexi's like, Oh my God.
Because everybody talking about it too makes it something. If Lindsay was there and was like, no, I saw this happen, it's just, a point of view. But now that everybody else is discussing, that means it's something there enough for everybody who knows them to read into it.
Also, we got to remember, Lexi and Jesse have not known each other that long, but they moved very quickly. Because Lexi on the after show said that like within a week, Jesse was like, I want to be exclusive with you. I want you to come to my family reunion. And like he was laying it on kind of thick. I feel like if he wasn't so obsessed, Sierra and him could have had this conversation if him and Lexi were just casually getting to know each other. But because he from the gate was so like, I'm obsessed with you.
That's
I want to
more
be
of
exclusive.
A betrayal.
Yeah, all the way to like now you asked me to officially be exclusive, even though we've been exclusive for like a month and you're literally love bombing me. And now
but
I find
it would mean more
out.
to have it like on camera too. Like that means not only because I could see somebody telling me like, hey, I'm not ready to put this all on camera, but like I do really like you and like let's see how it goes while we're in the house together. And the city is a little bit different when you're alone. So it could be moving at two different paces. But I didn't watch the full after show, but I saw online that she said that like at this point on kickball day, he was calling her his girlfriend. He had said, I love you.
They showed up hand in hand, dude. Yeah.
She wore his special underwear. Like,
yuck. So literally 2 days before, because this is still Monday, you're having a conversation with another girl about how like you want to be like what would have happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't look great for Jesse. Anyway, this is when Lexi's mad. She's like, I'm going to hit that ball so hard because I'm so mad. And she really doesn't hit it that far. If anything, she kicks it alone and goes, ooh, she does that girly thing. She's
well, like, I think she forgot to run too, so she got out.
I can't. So then Jesse's like, oh, is she mad? And Lindsay's like, yeah, she knows about the toe sucking. And Jesse's like, it wasn't a sexual toe suck. It was just a prank.
I love that he keeps trying to talk to her too, and she just keeps brushing him off.
It's like not even a thing. Yeah,
it's a joke. No one laughed.
I love when he said it's a prank. A prank on who?
Oh my God. That's how you know you're in the wrong. If you have to keep changing how you justify it.
Who's the prank on?
Because at first he's like, oh my God, it wasn't sexual. It's not a big deal. Now it's a joke. Now it's a prank.
We're on Punk'd. Ashton Kutcher walked in the room. Like, what are we talking about, sir?
And again, it's not your intentions that matter anymore. It's what it's doing to the person it's affecting. And how about we just take ownership of what's happening right here in this situation?
It's not a good joke if it's not funny. If no one laughs, it's not really a joke.
Nope.
So that's when Jesse like kind of tries to talk to Lexi and he's like, it's really not toe sucking, not a thing.
Not a big deal.
And Lexi says, if it was really nothing, you would have told me.
That is so true.
So I just want to shout out some of the kickball. Wes sacrifices himself for an out, which I cannot believe he did.
Especially, weren't they like leading the whole game?
Also, like, we're 31, dude. You can't be doing that. Your body isn't the same, it just hurts. Our joints hurt. It's not that
serious.
Yeah, we're playing kickball. Emerald would have gotten it because Emerald got every other catch. True MVP. He's the one, though, that ran home and skipped right over the fucking base.
Okay, Gabby did it too.
There's one rule. Touch the base. You know what else I hate? When people don't run through first. I know that that's not a rule everyone knows, but like if I tell you like just run through and then they still don't and I'm like, yo.
As the game goes on, like you should be
You get it. Yeah. Don't. It's crazy. Anyway. And then Paige gets the last out. It's kicked right to her. Oh, we're so proud. She's the backbone of this team. Put some respect on her name.
When they lift her up, I'm like, yep, I feel that.
She loves sports. She's a sports girl now.
It is great when you make a huge play kind of by accident and you're like, yeah, I just did that.
Can I tell you, I got a third out in a kickball game in Chicago. And it was 2 outs, obviously. I was playing second.
Is this the final out, too, of the game?
It's the final out of the game. We had never won a game before.
Oh my God.
There was a lot on the line. And I was playing second, which is in between first and second base. If you know, you know. So I was playing second, and the guy on first base, a guy. So naturally I was like, catch any balls, because I don't want
That's the thing.
to.
I always go to all the guys around me. I'm like, these are all yours.
It gets better. My ex, we were playing against my ex's team, my college ex, who totally broke my heart. He comes up to bat. He's the last batter. I'm like, oh my God. My friend looks at me, who's on the team, and she's like, that guy, we fucking hate him. Everyone get him out, jokes. And then he kicks the highest pop-up I've ever seen straight to me, to the point that I look at the guy at first. This is how high the pop-up is. I'm like, do you want to get it? And he goes, you got it. And I was like, okay. And I literally positioned myself under it. And I was like, oh my God.
You're like, grab it, grab it,
and when
grab
I tell
it,
you, dead silence. Dead silence is happening.
That's the worst when it's so high. There's enough time to discuss. I had a
full conversation. I get under it, and he's like, you got it. And I'm like, it's dead silent. And he comes down, and when I tell you, because it hit my chest, so it made the biggest boom.
Yeah.
And then I had caught it, and that was my Paige moment. Everyone ran to me.
Every time I catch one of those, I'm scared of it like bouncing off my face. So I'm sitting there the whole time being like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
And then I got my arms around it. It was crazy. Yep. But yeah, and then the guy on first did lift me up, and he's like, but not like this. He just threw me over the shoulder and ran around with me. But I was like, please put me down. But yeah, shout out to my ex. I'll never forget that. And that's the day
huge.
I decided I didn't even hate you, because you don't even matter, because I got you out of kickball.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Anyway, that was my Paige moment. I felt for her.
Good for you.
So then everyone had a great day. Lexi doesn't even know that she could sweat. Here she is sweating.
Also, did you notice she was wearing like a tube top bra, like a strapless thing? I'm like, how do you do that?
Don't even wear a bra.
Well, she couldn't just come topless. That was her top too.
Oh, that's true. So Paige and Lindsay talk really quick, and Lindsay's like, I'm holding off on talking to Carl about this whole thing. She knows it's got to be done in front of everyone on the camera. She knows.
The way she's like, I hope nobody tells him what's coming.
I hope no one tells him. And I was like, here's Paige gonna go tell it. Be like, hey, guess what?
No way. Paige is like, I can't wait to watch this. I'm gonna
do it at dinner.
And I'm gonna make sure to pick my seat so I have a good view.
Do it at dinner. I'll sit head of the table. Make sure I have a glass of wine. We'll be good.
Make sure they don't have glasses of wines. We know we don't need a wine glass.
Yeah. If you're fighting, you don't get wine glass. So then Lexi and Jesse talk. Jesse's like, hey, the toe sucking thing wasn't even a thing. Complete joke. And then Lexi's like, what about the flirting with Sierra? And he goes, that was an even bigger joke. It was all funny. And Lexi says it wasn't funny. And he does apologize. And then Lexi says, do you get how that would mess with my trust? And Jesse goes, sure. And I gasp.
You don't get it.
Gasp.
Sure?
Gasp.
Because he had the opportunity to. He fucked up. I think a lot of people do. You get kind of scared, especially early on, with being like truthful when you want to ask her to be exclusive on camera. I get how this happened. But you're now caught. When I tell you gasp, absolute gasp. I would just be like, I'm sorry. Snap. I should have told you I was nervous. Like, I didn't want to hide this from you, but I did because of XYZ. I hate it because, but still, I think like it's valid to say why you did what you did. It was insane. I think she's really soft with him. Like she would forgive anything, but you being an idiot, she's not going to forgive that. You saying this is a joke, she's not going to forgive that.
Nope. Lexi says the toe sucking was weird. It's embarrassing for her. And Jesse's like, this is an adjustment for me. Then don't become exclusive. If you're not.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because you are making it my fault that you can't be honest.
You're the one that begged me to be exclusive with you. What do you mean it's an adjustment for you?
That's the thing.
You wanted this.
There's two incidents. It's like you did the things, I guess multiple things, and then you lied about them. You weren't forthcoming and you like didn't say. I can't imagine. I don't understand how guys get away with this in their own minds. The blaming of the women for their own action and inactions.
When I tell you 99% of men are so delusional. Like, yeah, you want to sit here and call Lindsay delusional with the timeline. Men literally just don't get it. Like,
yeah, but Lindsay's delusional with herself.
Yes,
men are delusional with women.
They don't get it, right? They're like, oh, the pay gap's not a big deal. Oh, the toe sucking's just a joke. It hurt your feelings. It shouldn't have. Like, they're incapable. And that's why men should watch more reality fucking TV. I swear to God. The smartest men watch reality TV. I will die on this hill. Have you ever listened to the Bros? Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Two of the most intelligent. And that's why all these men that watch reality TV have wives. Okay? You dumb incels. If you're listening to this,
you know what?
That's why you're alone. You're not watching the shit we watch.
That's not the only reason, but that could definitely help.
You also hate us. So, the fuck?
That's really smart of women to have their men watch reality TV to grow their emotional development, because they won't do this stuff with their friends. No. So you got to watch other people, you know, see one, do one, teach one. So like they're in their seeing stage. They're going to do it with you, and then they're going to teach their kids, hopefully.
I don't believe in men, period, who...
We're just going to end it there. I don't
believe in men. They're fake. I don't believe in men who refuse to watch reality TV, who refuse to watch, quote, girly shows or movies, who refuse to read, like, girly books, like, who refuse to listen to girly music. I don't believe in those men. I don't.
If you put up such a hard stance about doing any of that, that's weird. That's weird. I understand if that's not like your genre, or like that's not your go-to. That's fine. We all have preferences. But if I'm doing something and say I love it and you won't do it at all, that's crazy.
My dad hates Twilight, but every time my mom watches it, guess who ends up doing his dad's stance watching? You don't think my dad has never sat down to watch an episode of Jersey Shore, but he knows them all because I watched them and he was like, wow, it's crazy. So yeah, like, just, it's not that embarrassing. You can hate it, but you should watch it to, like, fucking, it's not that big a deal.
Well, you can be the one who doesn't want to turn it on or whatever. And that's, if you're alone, you're not going to watch it. That's fine.
But I think, honestly, men, if you want to get more girls, just watch some reality TV.
When I see guys say that they like reality TV on their profiles, I'm like, tell me what you're watching.
Tell me what you're watching. What's your favorite show?
Girls, this is a generalization, but girls like love to gossip and chat. Like, I want to connect over common things. And agreed. I love reality TV. So that is so true. It's so easy that a lot of women do tend to watch reality TV. So what's a way to make sure you can have a conversation with them? Yes. Watch some reality TV.
My friend's currently teaching her husband how to properly gossip, because you know how men don't get the details?
Yeah.
So we'll send her gossip and she'll listen to it with her man and be like, this is what I love. This is good gossip.
I love when somebody tells me that they played my voice memo about something and like their partner listened. I'm like, that means we're all on the same page. We're all like up to date here.
And that's how you know you have a good one, because he wants to listen to me talk about my nonsense.
Yeah. It's crazy to me that guys don't gossip, because my family does. Like, my dad gossips, my guy cousin gossips, and we are like storytellers.
I think guys gossip, but do you know the origins of gossiping?
No.
It was originally made like illegal back in the olden days, because men didn't like that their wives would like get together to like crochet or sew or whatever the women were doing, but the women had nothing else to do, so they would gossip about their men, obviously.
Oh my God.
And men didn't like
so true,
that
because they didn't have their own independent lives.
So they made gossiping illegal, and then it's obviously like not illegal, but that's why it's a negative connotation. That's why people are like, oh, girls just gossip and gossip and gossip, whereas men, they're just like telling you a story, and it's like, no, put some respect on gossiping. This is how we know,
because I also do it. I dedicate myself to it. I will get all the details I possibly can. I will call multiple parties. Like, I will craft the whole story, collect it from everybody, and then disperse the entire story to all the parties who gave me half of the story.
I'm not out here giving out fake news.
No, okay? I am dead. I take notes for the good stories.
And then I'll keep you updated.
Yes. Especially my family gossip. I am in deep on that.
Families have the best gossip.
I have so much good lore.
The worst is when your family like brings something up and you're like, wait, you've never told me this before. And they're like, happened 40 years ago. And I'm like, go back to the beginning.
I'm like, let's go.
Grandma,
yes.
Grandpa, write down all your gossip for me immediately.
And if people spend time with me and my guy cousin, immediately my family lore will come up. And I'm like, they're like, tell me about that. And I'm like, well, we got to go back to the beginning. I'm like, you got to know the full context. Let me tell you about this.
The year was 1600. We came over on the Mayflower. Listen,
I'm like, because we reference our family lore in little snippets. So if I tell you you're being a Mary, like you got to know what I'm talking about for the diss to hurt.
I love gossip. Anyway, let's just finish up this episode.
True.
Okay, Lexi means a lot to Jesse. He won't do it ever again. Lexi's still really sad. She said on the after show she left kickball and was sobbing at her apartment all night. Yeah. She was really sad because she had like caught real feelings for him.
Yeah.
And she also said
I
it was
would
really
feel
nice.
played too. Like one thing, I'm the one left in the dark. Yes. That's what would really hurt. Is everybody's talking about this stuff and I'm in the dark. And clearly this is like happening on camera too. So this is my storyline. Shout
out Gabby. Gabby did text Lexi after kickball to check in. Lexi said that was really nice because she was so sad. They did their after show together. Okay, so the rest of the house talks about Jesse and Lexi like in the shade separately. And Wes is like, Jesse and Sarah have always been like fun and flirty. And Paige says, no, but it was the switch up as soon as Lexi wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then Gabby says, let's call it out. If Lexi had acted like that with any other guy in the house, Jesse would have been pissed. Point blank, period. End of conversation. So that's where the show ends. Next time on Summer House, Lexi will ask Sierra about the flirting. Paige never wants to live in Charleston, and she's the breadwinner anyway. Why would she move? Ooh. And Lindsay confronts Carl.
I can't wait.
Oh, I love it. Even if she's
finally getting it.
I'm saying it. Even if she's wrong, I'm Team Hub House. Hand on my heart.
Oh, I am committed to her delusion and will enjoy it.
I love her. Let's do fun, not fun. Meredith, who was your not fun for the episode?
It has to be Jesse. Come on, you had so many opportunities. I know we kept saying this all happened on a Monday, but this happened over like 4 days. Come on.
I liked that this whole episode was about a toe sucking. I really enjoyed saying it. Reminded me of like finger bang, and it was just so funny.
They talked about that on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh, it's so funny. I'm gonna go with. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Wes because he's like stalking Sierra, and it makes me feel weird about myself.
Yeah, I'm getting really angry about it because I feel like justice for women. And
to be honest, he really wasn't that fun this episode. He really didn't do much. Okay, who's your fun though? Lots of fun.
It's hard because I collectively want to give it to just the crew who brought the toe sucking to Lexi.
To everyone. Yeah.
But it's like, is that really Bailey? Fun. Like that's no, I loved it. It could have been
Emerald.
Loved it.
Emerald was the one that dropped
I like that.
Bomb.
I like that because he also took Jesse's like trying to give him judgment. And like Uno reversing is like, you were literally there. Like, what is going on? Emerald, you're right, is the one who made it happen. He started the telephone game.
Not today. Okay. A part of me wants to give it to Gabby because I think this is the most fun we've seen Gabby, and she's really stirring drama, and I enjoy that. But a part of me is like, she didn't give me like enough, you know? So, and not a lot of people did because we really didn't do fucking anything.
I know. I enjoyed this because I like seeing them in the city, but it's hard when it's
because this is the only time I'll do it. I'll give it to Carl. Happy soft opening. Big apology for really thinking you named your bar after Lindsay. That was crazy. Oh, but you know what? Gold star to Lindsay for asking, do you get a hug with every drink? That is hilarious. So funny.
Oh, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the soft bar, but I do think a really smart move of them that the other bar openings we've seen happen didn't do is I like the van-esque with like cocktails out of it. I think that's a really smart move.
I think he should do that before he opens up a spot. Yeah, that would be so cool. If you park yourself in like Prospect Park or Fort Greene, you do pop-ups.
With Nick and like I think Lululemon, they did like a run. They did a run day and then they had like drinks. Do a lot of gyms. I thought that was so smart.
He did something like that for Melissa Wood Health. Too. Yeah, I honestly, though, a lovely summer day, park yourself in front of a park and be like, hey, do you
I
want?
think that's the benefit of the non-alc thing, is that you don't have to have an alcohol permit. And so having the type of pop-ups is really great. And then you could have maybe like a hut first, again, in a park.
Yeah. I love buying myself a cute little drink when I'm like at the farmer's market.
Same.
Like listen, there are
I think
opportunities.
daytime is their move.
The stationary bar cafe concerns me, but the van is a really good idea.
Yeah.
The truck or whatever, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we do have some thoughts for the episode. Ooh. Megan D said, let's go. Soft bar, great concept. Don't think it's going to work, but love the idea. We're right. I think the van is what we've discussed. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. Seeing Jasmine from Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Love that they show Bailey. Also good for her for getting some of the drama, aka toe sucking gate. Wes, my boy, get over it. You made this relationship awkward. No one asked you to go on your press tour. You decided to do it yourself. Duh. I honestly don't think Carl cheated on Lindsay, but he probably mentally checked out towards the end of the relationship. Probably.
Agreed. Yeah.
Jesse should have told Lexi exactly what happened. Like, dude, what the fuck? If you want to be in a relationship, act like it. She said Gabby jumped hard on the Carl cheated on Lindsay train, and I'm not sure why. I really think we just didn't have the idea. We just didn't know.
Well, ever since, because I recently did actually rewatch the finale of season 8, and Gabby whereas the rest of the girls were sad for both parties, Gabby drew an immediate line, like, you don't do this to someone like this, and Gabby has never been the same with Carl, so she is like, and this is not a bad thing, but like so team Lindsay and so upset about how it was done. Not that they ended the relationship, but similar to Lindsay, I think will never get over how it was done.
Fair.
So she, no matter what Carl does, Gabby will always be related to Lindsay.
Agreed.
Pissed.
I'm in on that. I also think the way, like I said, there was clearly a miscommunication between Emerald, Gabby, and Lil.
Yes.
Like, clearly, if I was Gabby too, I would have been like, you DM'd in the summer?
That's the thing. If my friend's ex-fiance information is coming out like this, I am also probably going to get it miscommunicated.
Be like, guess who cheated? Immediately.
You know me, I need a visual timeline. So without that, I won't understand what's happening.
And she got one, she thought. So previews for next week. Why is everyone, Lexi, getting mad at Sierra for Jesse flirting with her when they, Lexi, should be mad at Jesse for flirting? Yeah, it's, for some reason, we never blame the guy. I know, it's crazy. In 2025, normalize blaming men for everything.
Well, men need to be blamed, but I get like thinking somebody's your friend and flirting with the guy you like. I understand being frustrated with somebody about that, but you have to put majority of, like, in their one-on-one conversation. No, I agree. But in their one-on-one conversation, you can bring your rightful frustrations to Sierra. But when they're at the dinner table and you want to bring all those frustrations only at Sierra, that's the problem.
Go for it. Yeah. Also random, but Sierra and Tasha, Luke's girlfriend. Maybe, I don't know, they were super private. Who knows? They went on an influencer trip together. I don't know if we've talked about it, but it looks like they had a lot of fun. Wait, tell me.
It was Tasha and Sierra, and I think, what's her name? She is that like wag influencer, but not like normal wags. Isaac Rochelle is her husband. What is her name?
Oh, Allison.
Oh, yes. I think Allison was there as well. And then one other person who I don't think I knew, but it was a really small group. Okay. They were in Aspen, and there's been a lot of like influencer trips in Aspen, but they were with one specific brand, I think, together. So they spent a lot of time together.
Normally, I hate influencer trips, but this sounds like influencers I would get along with. So
I think when it's smaller groups where it feels kind of like a show, like your show's crossing over, I think that's kind of fun. But yeah, whenever they're the like bougie tart trips, it's really annoying.
So Luke is still dating someone that's not me, my Midwestern king.
I like that they're super private about it.
Yeah, he's my type, though. I haven't
seen anything of them personally. I haven't seen anything of them together recently, so it just kind of left my mind.
Well, I would never want Luke to be sad either, so don't break up on my account. But if you find yourself needing someone, hit me up. Anyway.
That's a good point.
Allie has a few thoughts. If Lexi and Jesse are together, I will be shocked. Agreed. I will go to soft bar. Oh, Allie, go off. Tell us.
I'd try it.
And Allie says, "Oh, and fuck Craig." That's right.
Amen.
Okay, I think that's it. This was an episode about nothing except us and our tangents. Like,
yeah, but we do our best work.
This was our best work. I think this might have been our best work so far of the season.
I agree. And you know what? We got some work clips, and I feel like that's bringing the magic of Summer House back. I know it was a long episode in the city, but like
seeing Wes, oh my God, seeing Wes at work was one of my favorite parts.
We talked about this last week. I'm happy we basically got what we asked for. Like, I want to see these people working.
The whole episode of what
they went to the complex offices. Like, that's huge.
We didn't really see them working. I mean, we saw Carl getting ice, and I wanted to see a little more, but
we got to start somewhere.
I'll take what I can get. Great. Do all the things I mentioned. Now that we know our reviews are being hidden by Apple, we're going to look. We're going to look deeply.
We're on it now.
I'm fucking on it. Okay. But thank you so much.
Thanks for joining. Bye.